Bizarre Brain Comics. Oh, hello, my comic book friends, and welcome to Bizarre Brain Comics. I am Gary, your host. This is where I like to take a look at some older comics, talk a little bit about the characters and creators, and examine the stories and the art. Well, this time, we're going to take a look at Battlestar Galactica, issues 1 and 2. From 1979 Marvel Comics. Actually, the original version was 78, but this was written by Roger McKenzie. It's an adaptation of the original pilot movie, and of Battlestar Galactica. It's written by Roger McKenzie with art by Ernie Colon. And of course, based on the ABC TV series created by Glenn Larson, which ran from off and on 78 to 80. And the comic ran from 79 to 81 for a total of 23 issues. Okay, and the pilot, as I said, this is the pilot film adaptation, originally printed as a Marvel Super Special number 8 magazine, and also as an oversized tabloid version, and later as a mass market paperback. I have the tabloid and the paperback version. I don't remember if I ever had the actual magazine or not. And issues, those that book, magazine, and tabloid covered issues 1 through 3, which was that adaptation. Covered the film adaptation. Issues 4 and 5 was based on the 2-part episode Planet of the Gods, and thereafter they were original stories, not based on scripts. Unlike the novels, they had a series of novels that were basically the adaptations of the of all the scripts for that series, including some of Galactica 1980, which was a kind of a spin-off. After the original show was canceled, they had all these the costumes, sets, and a lot of film. So they had created another series that wouldn't cost as much. That was Galactica 1980, when Galactica finds the Earth, so that they could reuse all the sets and costumes and stuff that they had. It didn't cost as much, and that didn't last very long either. I have the DVD set right here, which is a face of a Cylon on the front. I remember when this first came out, I missed that original TV movie for the pilot, because I was in my last week of boot camp in the Navy. I got to see all the following episodes, but I never got to see that on TV. And but I had the novelization, and later, of course, got the comic, so I was able to see that. And then, of course, afterwards, Universal released a slightly edited version of that TV movie as a theatrical version, and that was the first time at the theater on the Navy base I was stationed. It's the first time I got to see the original Battlestar Galactica. And the short time it was running, I was there every night watching that. Because I really liked Battlestar Galactica. I liked and I really liked the reboot series from the 2000s as well. One thing I liked about that is that it had a more realistic look and feel, military-ish and everything. It looked more like well, the reality that we know in many, many respects. Okay, as I said, this was drawn by Ernie Cologne, but it was Dave Cockrum and who drew this first cover. I don't know who drew the second one. Now I'll just kind of briefly go through because it just recounts that first story. And since it's 3 issues, it is following the 3-act format of a film. And here is issue 1, Annihilation. And it starts. Now, I think Ernie Cologne did a really great job on the artwork here. He must have had a lot of photo reference and often did a good job at getting the resemblance of the actors. Some of them not so good. That's understandable. But did a really good job at the ships, etc. The technology. And here's, of course, it starts off with the fleet, the colonial fleet, the Galactica, Atlantia, and others are waiting for a Cylon envoy because they have 12 colonies and 12 colonies of humans in this star system. Each colony is a different planet, so it's an awful lot of Earth-type planets for one solar system. But then Cylons were alien cyborgs, and they'd been at war for 1,000 years, and now they're finally going to get to peace. Battlestar Galactica, which is basically an aircraft carrier, and it is commanded by Lorne Greene, Ben Cartwright, as Commander Adama, and his sons are also colonial warriors, pilots, and turns out, and the character Baltar has the ear of the colonial president, and is secretly working for the Cylons. It's spoiler, in case you've never seen this 47-year-old show. And they're supposed to have the meeting here, and Adama's sons Apollo and Zach are on their regular patrol. Zach is the younger son, and this is his first patrol. And in the course of the patrol, they spot some Cylons pursued. Find but there's no base ship. No, it's not a base ship. There is a fuel tanker. I did a real great job artistically showing this story, and basically it's all a trap. The Cylons are setting a trap for the fleet because the whole fleet is gathered here together, and these fighters are without base ships are there to take out the fleet, while the base ships are going around. We meet Starbuck, we meet Boomer. It's of course Lorne Greene. Apollo, played by Richard Hatch. I met him a couple times. We went playing a laser tag with him, and he was where it was the Klingons against the humans, and he wanted to be a Klingon so bad. He wore my Klingon uniform. Later, in a fan-made film, he actually got to play a Klingon, but he is gone now. Of course, Richard Hatch, Streets of San Francisco, and before that, he was played the first actor to play Philip on Young and the Restless in the early 70s. I watched him when I was a kid, and then of course Dirk Benedict as and he in his later years he got a little bit on the loopy side, and I saw him at a convention, and then actually met very briefly Boomer, Herb Jefferson Jr. And as I said, we played laser tag, and at another convention. Richard Hatch just walked up and sat down at our table, my wife and me, and had a drink with us, and we just chatted, had a good old time. And here we go. battling the Cylons. Zach's ship was destroyed. Apollo got back in time to warn the Galactica. They tried to warn the fleet, but it was too late. They realized that the colonies were under attack. While the Galactica's fighters were out fighting the Cylon ships, Galactica headed for their colony of Caprica. And here we see this is then the city being pummeled. This is when we meet Serena, who later becomes a major character, and her son Boxy, who is even a more major character, and his Daggett, who is killed. Daggett, they call it dog, etc. They get home. They're too late. The colony is basically destroyed. With just some refugees. They get home. They find their home destroyed, and Adama's wife is dead also. And then he says, this is when he gets the plan. Okay, tell everyone, gather together all the survivors that you can, on all the ships, and take flight, and we will find someplace else to live, to escape. And that is, the next was Exodus. That's the first act. Act 2 here's Exodus, and I can't make out who. I don't see a signature, so I'm not sure who drew this cover, but still have our same creative team on the inside. And there is Baltar, as he sees the colonies being destroyed by the Cylons. Choo. Of course, Baltar is played by John Colicos, who is better known in sci-fi circles as Kor, the Klingon commander from several Star Trek episodes. And then this is when it's some unspecified time later. The fleet is gathered around the Galactica, and they are heading out. This is when he gets the idea to go to the lost 13th colony of Earth, and they're taking off. Now it's when we really get to see some more of the characterization as they are putting around. We're seeing problems in the fleet with food distribution, how some of the elite live in splendor while everyone else lives in squalor, trying to take care of everything. And Boxy's having problems. He becomes friendly with Serena and helps Boxy through a little crisis because he lost his father and his Daggett. And they get friendly, and this is when we see Sire Yuri, and Sire is an honorific. They're basically like a senator or something. He's on the Council of 12, and while he's got all this food, and he and his guests are just doing dandy, and they confiscate all the food to distribute it around the fleet. And here we see Baltar getting his comeuppance, or supposedly. In the theatrical version, they killed him, but the Cylons killed him. But here they didn't. They would just hold him off to be imprisoned until they needed him later. And these are the Cylons, very classic Cylons, and there's classically designed base ships. The Imperious leader, the Cylon commander, because he was upset because you were supposed to spare my colony, and then I was supposed to rule on your behalf. But no, they said all humans are to die. So now they're going to be in pursuit of. They've heard rumors of human refugees, and this is when we get the Daggett droid. That is also very popular because he's cute and programmed to respond to Boxy. And then they've got a plan because they're short on supplies, fuel and supplies, and they've got two places they can go to. One is the Cylons know about and will undoubtedly be there. The other one is a more dangerous route to another planet. But it is a dangerous route, and they've got to go through something hazardous in an area that's mined. So, to start, our next issue is going to be Apollo, Starbuck, and Boomer having to make a path through the minefield, through the dangerous path through the minefield for the fleet to get to this planet where there's a casino. They're surprised there's all these humans there. No one knows anything knows anything about it. Has these buggy people who are the hosts, who are actually snatching people for food, and then the Cylons also have a base there. Had a very climactic conclusion with the destruction of the base ship that is hidden on the other side of the planet, etc. But it did a great job, because I only have these 2 issues of that storyline. But it is a classic. I love Battlestar Galactica, and by and large, as an overall property, we have between the 3 series, all the books, etc. I probably like Galactica better than Star Wars, because Galactica's got more good stuff out there than Star Wars does. Star Wars has more bad and mediocre stuff. Has some good novels though, and Galactica had 1 bad series, 2 very good series. So, and a bunch of novels, and just a few original novels. But so that's all I had to share with you this time. Battlestar Galactica. It's a lot of fun, and I like the comics. At one time, I had all or nearly all of that initial run, but I got rid of them several years ago, and then just a few months ago, I picked these up. So I want to thank you for joining me. Please like, share, subscribe. Leave your comments down below. And remember, comics are art.